When you think of countries at war, your mind probably jumps to Ukraine and Russia or Israel and Palestine. But while the world watches those flashpoints, another region is quietly heating up: Southeast Asia. And right now, tensions between Thailand and Cambodia are making headlines again. What's going on? Are these two countries actually on the edge of war? Well, to understand what's happening now, we need to look back, because this isn't the first time. These nations have stood eye to eye at the border with weapons drawn. Thailand and Cambodia share a long, complicated history. While today they're known for tourism, temples, and cultural richness, their past is filled with tension, mistrust, and military standoffs. At the heart of much of that tension is a centuries-old temple, the Preah Vihear temple. This isn't just a religious site. It's a symbol of national pride for both sides. Built during the Khmer Empire, the temple sits on a cliff along the Thai-Cambodian border. And here's where the drama begins. Both countries claim it belongs to them. In 1962, the International Court of Justice ruled in favor of Cambodia, stating that the temple was legally theirs. But Thailand never fully accepted the verdict. And for decades, this dispute remained like a dormant volcano, until it erupted again in 2008. That year, both countries sent troops to the area. Skirmishes broke out. Soldiers died. And by 2011, things had escalated so much that artillery fire was exchanged. Rocket launchers were used, and civilians had to be evacuated from both sides. It was a real, active conflict, and it shocked the world. Eventually, the fighting stopped. Diplomacy returned. But the wounds? They never really healed. Now, fast forward to 2025, recent movements of troops, political statements, and nationalist media coverage are signaling that tensions are rising again. It's not just about the temple anymore. There's talk of illegal border crossings, military buildups, and even smuggling operations that have political consequences. And what's worse, both governments seem to be using this conflict to rally domestic support. Nationalism is once again becoming a tool in the hands of politicians. And history tells us that when leaders stir up national pride, military action often follows. But is this really going to lead to another war? Or is it just a show of power before elections? Before we answer that, we need to look deeper into the current events of 2025. What exactly is happening at the border right now? And why international observers, including ASEAN and even China, are starting to pay attention? So now that we understand the history, the Preah Vihear temple, the deadly skirmishes, and the unresolved tension, the big question is, what's happening in 2025 that's bringing all this back? Well, over the last few months, reports have been steadily building. Satellite images show increased military presence near the Thai-Cambodian border. Not just patrols, but actual troop deployments, battalions, artillery units, supply trucks, all gathering near sensitive regions. Both countries have issued statements denying any hostile intent. But here's the thing. Their actions are telling a very different story. In March this year, Cambodian forces intercepted what they claimed was a Thai drone entering their airspace near the Dangrek mountain range, the same area surrounding the Preah Vihear temple. Within 48 hours, Thailand responded by accusing Cambodia of militarizing the zone and building unauthorized checkpoints. This tit-for-tat narrative continued. In April, several Cambodian villagers living near the border were allegedly arrested by Thai forces, accused of illegal logging and trespassing. Cambodia's foreign ministry condemned the arrests and called it a violation of sovereignty. Thailand hit back, saying the villagers were inside Thai territory. These aren't isolated incidents. They are small sparks. And history has shown us that in this part of the world, even one small spark can set off a fire. Meanwhile, in the political arena, things are heating up too. Thailand is preparing for upcoming elections, and the ruling party is under pressure from nationalist groups who are calling for a stronger stance on border protection. Cambodia's leadership, on the other hand, is trying to maintain a strong national image after a major corruption scandal in 2024 that rocked public trust. Both governments have something to prove, and that's a dangerous combination. And it's not just soldiers and politicians involved. Social media in both countries is flooded with misinformation, doctored videos, and even calls for boycott. A video recently went viral in Cambodia showing Thai soldiers allegedly burning down a Cambodian flag It turned out to be fake, but the outrage it caused was very real. Now, international observers are stepping in. The ASEAN community has urged restraint. The UN has requested both nations to avoid provocation. Even China, which has growing influence in the region, released a statement urging stability among its friends in Southeast Asia. But here's the scary part. Despite all these warnings, neither side is backing down. There's a quiet buildup of tension, like a ticking time bomb with no clear way to defuse it. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into what the people on the ground are saying. While governments issue statements and armies flex their muscles, there's another side to this story: the people. Thousands of families live along the Thailand-Cambodia border. For them, conflict isn't some political drama on the news. It's something they've seen up close, and fear might return. In villages like Chong San Gam on the Thai side and Komk Sant in Cambodia, life has changed rapidly in just a few months. Farmers are no longer going near the border fields. Markets are quieter. Schools are half empty. And the biggest fear? That history is about to repeat itself. Back in 2011, many of these same families had to evacuate when artillery shells flew over their homes. Some still carry scars, not just physical ones, but emotional trauma. And now, the tension in the air is back. We spoke to a 60-year-old farmer named Mr. Somchai from the Thai border side. He said, "Last time, we left everything behind. Our cattle, our house, even the rice in the field. If the soldiers come again, we'll have to run again. Who wants war? Not us." On the Cambodian side, a young woman named Srey Mom, whose father died in the 2008 conflict, shared, "We don't hate Thai people. We sell fruits to them every week. But when the army moves in, everything changes. Fear comes back." And this fear isn't just emotional. It's economic too. Local trade between these border villages has dropped by more than 40% in recent weeks. Thai vendors aren't crossing over to Cambodian markets. Cambodian workers, who used to travel daily to Thailand for labor jobs, are being turned away at checkpoints. It's like an invisible wall is rising between two communities that have lived side by side for generations. Even schools are preparing emergency plans. In some Cambodian towns, children are practicing evacuation drills, just in case conflict erupts again. One principal told reporters, "We hope for peace, but we prepare for war." Meanwhile, local monks and community leaders from both sides are urging calm. There are small efforts being made, like peace prayer ceremonies, cross-border calls for unity, and even online petitions. But they're drowned out by the noise of nationalism and political pressure. What's heartbreaking is that while these border communities desperately want peace, they're the first to suffer when tensions rise, and the last ones to be heard when deals are made. In Part 4, we'll zoom out and look at how global powers are reacting. What's ASEAN doing? Is China secretly playing a role? And how are Western countries like the US viewing this rising tension in Southeast Asia? Because while this may seem like a local issue, the truth is, it could have global consequences. As tensions between Thailand and Cambodia heat up in 2025, the rest of the world isn't just watching silently. They're starting to move pieces on the board too. Because in today's world, even a regional conflict like this can trigger global ripple effects. Let's start with the most obvious player, ASEAN, the regional organization that includes both Thailand and Cambodia. ASEAN has always followed a policy of non-interference, but this situation is testing its limits. In a rare joint statement last month, ASEAN called for both nations to exercise restraint and settle disputes through diplomatic channels. But many experts are saying that's not enough. Why? Because ASEAN has no real enforcement power. It's a platform for dialogue, not action. And when conflict becomes real, dialogue alone doesn't stop bullets. Meanwhile, one giant is watching everything very closely: China. China has deep interests in both countries. It's Cambodia's largest investor and a close political ally of Prime Minister Hun Manet. China has built roads, bridges, and even a naval base in Cambodia, raising eyebrows around the world. On the other side, Thailand has strong trade ties with China too, but it's also been working with the US and Japan on defense. This puts China in a tricky spot. It doesn't want to lose influence in the region, but it also can't afford to be seen as fueling conflict. So far, Beijing has issued carefully worded statements urging peace and cooperation. But behind the scenes, analysts believe Chinese diplomats are already talking to both governments, trying to keep the situation from spiraling. And then there's the United States. While the U.S. is geographically far, it has strategic interests in Southeast Asia, especially in countering China's influence. The U.S. Embassy in Thailand recently issued a travel advisory, warning its citizens to avoid border zones. And quietly, the Pentagon has increased naval activity in the South China Sea. U.S. officials have expressed concern over the rising tensions, and some believe Washington may soon step in with diplomatic mediation offers, especially if violence breaks out. But here's the twist. Cambodia might reject U.S. involvement, viewing it as biased, especially due to its strong alliance with China. What about the European Union and the United Nations? The UN has called for restraint and peace, as always. The EU, which has significant trade with both countries, has warned that any military escalation could impact regional aid and development deals. So, what we're seeing isn't just a border issue anymore. In today's world, wars aren't just fought on the battlefield, they're fought on screens, feeds, and headlines asterisk asterisk. And in the case of Thailand and Cambodia, the media is becoming one of the most dangerous weapons fueling this conflict. Let's talk facts. Both countries have a long tradition of tightly controlled news. In Cambodia, most mainstream media is state-run or heavily influenced by the ruling party. In Thailand, while media freedom exists to some degree, military pressure and political control often limit what's said, especially on sensitive national issues. Now imagine this. Tension is rising at the border. Soldiers are mobilizing, and the people are scared. Instead of calming the situation, much of the local media in both countries is doing the exact opposite, spreading fear, blaming the other side, and ramping up nationalist narratives. Headlines like "Thailand violates Cambodian sovereignty" or "Cambodian forces threaten Thai civilians" are being blasted across TV, radio, and social platforms, often without evidence. And people are believing them. Social media? It's even worse. Videos surface every day showing supposed attacks, border clashes, or disrespect of national symbols. One clip that went viral last week claimed to show Thai soldiers burning a Cambodian flag. Another showed Cambodians throwing stones at Thai outposts. Turns out, both videos were fake, either staged or edited. But the damage was already done. The comment sections were flooded with hate, calls for revenge, nationalist slogans, people sharing threats, posting old photos from 2011 as if they happened yesterday. It's what experts now call information warfare. Governments on both sides are subtly encouraging this. Why? Because nationalism is politically profitable. Nothing unites a frustrated population like a common enemy. And both Thai and Cambodian leaders are facing domestic issues, economic pressures, corruption scandals, rising youth unrest. What better distraction than a patriotic cause? Even entertainment media is jumping in. Influencers and YouTubers are picking sides. Memes mocking the other country's army or leadership are going viral. Songs, posters, and videos glorifying war and protecting the nation are being pushed, especially to young audiences. And the saddest part? Real dialogue is getting lost. Voices of peace, reason, or even fact-checkers are being drowned out by the louder, angrier crowd. We saw this pattern before, in 2011, 2008, and even earlier. Fake news led to real violence. Civilians paid the price. Right now, both governments are being urged by international watchdogs to control misinformation. But controlling it isn't easy, because a lot of it is coming from their own side. So now we've seen it all: the history, the current tensions, the voices on the ground, the geopolitical games, and the dangerous media firestorm that's fueling fear on both sides. But the real question is, what happens next? Let's start with the short term. As of now, neither Thailand nor Cambodia has declared war. There's no formal invasion, no massive mobilization yet. But the risk of accidental escalation is very real, with troops stationed so close. One misfire, one unauthorized drone, or one border misunderstanding could lead to a deadly exchange. That's exactly how conflicts in the past have reignited, not through planned wars, but through mistakes and overreactions. Both countries are currently in a fragile state politically. In Thailand, Elections are around the corner, and politicians are under pressure to look strong. In Cambodia, the government is still recovering its image after corruption scandals. This makes diplomacy harder, because no one wants to look weak in front of their people. Now, let's talk about long-term scenarios. There are three possible outcomes here. 1. De-escalation through diplomacy ***. This is the best-case scenario. ASEAN steps in. Secret talks happen. Both countries agree to pull troops back, and a neutral observer is appointed at the border. This would require maturity, trust, and international pressure. 2. Prolonged standoff ***. Neither side attacks, but tensions remain. Trade suffers, people live in fear, and both governments use the tension to fuel nationalist sentiment for years to come. This is what many experts believe is the most likely. A cold conflict with occasional flare-ups. 3. Armed conflict ***. The worst-case scenario. A border clash spirals out of control, leading to open warfare like in 2011. Civilian evacuations, artillery fire, possible third-party involvement, and a regional crisis that destabilizes. Southeast Asia. No one wins here. Everyone suffers. So what do the experts say? Most analysts believe that open war is unlikely, but not impossible. The military leadership in both countries remembers the cost of previous clashes. But at the same time, younger politicians and social media-fueled nationalism are wild cards. That's why global attention matters. And finally, let's not forget who this war would hurt the most. Ordinary people. The farmers, the school kids, the cross-border traders, the elderly who've already lived through too many wars. So whether you're watching from Southeast Asia or across the globe, this isn't just their problem. It's a reminder of how fragile peace can be and how important it is to defend it before it's too late. Direct hit if you found this breakdown valuable. Hit that subscribe button. Share this with someone who needs to know the truth.